Hello then. It's a beautiful Thursday morning, the 21st day of May 2026. And I don't like one thing about what is happening. Like the month of May is going too fast.
Hey.
It's the best month, so let's relax.
Oh, because
why are
it's
we in
your
a hurry?
birthday.
Why are we in a hurry
I understand, because it's your birthday month. But are we in a hurry for the year to end? No.
No.
Right?
Well, it depends.
It depends on where you find yourself. It depends on where you find yourself.
Exactly.
But yeah, good morning to all of you. We hope that you had a good night rest and it's been a beautiful week so far.
Yeah.
Let's do this together like we always do. And we apologize greatly for the late start of the show. But let's begin the show now with our quote of the day.
And this morning, Earl Nightingale is giving us our quote who says, "Never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. The time will pass anyway." I think I like this quote a lot. Never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. The time will pass anyway. Earl Nightingale with the quote of the day. So regardless of what you want to do, just start it, do it. It doesn't matter. Time, he's like he says, will pass anyway. So why not just give it a shot? Give a shot at your dream and make sure that you're actually achieving it. Well, it's a Thursday, and you know how we do it on Thursdays. We throw back a bit and bring you a blast from the past with our video of the day. The boys were in trouble because Papi was looking fly at a Braka boy. But where is he, by the way?
He's around. He's around. When last did I speak with Papi? I think it's been a while. But yeah, he's around.
Oh, okay.
He's around.
Okay.
I think that he should be doing a lot more.
Yeah.
It's sad that a lot these Gen Zs didn't get to experience that era. The era of Bandana from Ghana, and Shatta Wale has some really extremely good songs.
Yeah.
Like Shatta Wale no de Sieta. Those songs. Come on. And even Stone Boy, Kodjo, like You Go Kill Me. Those songs. My genre of music is high life, but those songs were really, really good. So I'm always happy to hear them.
Yeah.
I'm always happy
and
to
recently
hear them.
I've developed a certain penchant. I seem to join Shatta Wale's live on Facebook.
On TikTok.
And sometimes it's not like I deliberately go and watch. I chance on it and I don't go. I just stay and I just laugh. And he says if you want to listen to proper gospel, listen to his music. That's real gospel. He says his music is real gospel. Forget the rest out there. Yeah, and he motivates, and I think I'm beginning to like Shatta Wale a lot more than I used to. Oh,
Shatta Wale is an amazing human, and anytime I say that, people think it's because I have a personal relationship with him, but he's just a good human being.
Yeah.
And I like how he uses his platform to encourage his SM fans.
Absolutely.
He has his issues. We all acknowledge that he has it.
We all have
our issues.
We all have our issues.
We just
definitely
don't sit on the internet and talk about it. But everyone has a way of dealing with their stuff, right?
Yeah.
But Shatta Wale is an absolute, and his sense of humor is over the top, and that's how some people relieve stress in this country.
No, I've become a fan of.
Have you've seen that video? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. I'm stressed.
With the bonnets, the bonnets,
and the skin
put things on the face. What's happening here? Well, it's very interesting.
is an interesting guy.
Yeah.
But I love his music. I love his music. When I start talking about the musicians that I like,
we will not end the show today.
Well, not that, but I don't actually want people to think I like A, I don't like B.
Oh no, you like music, so you're really spread across.
Yes.
Last Mid, you love Stonebwoy, Shatta Wale, aside the high life
Kim
people.
Promise.
Yeah.
Kim Paluta.
Yeah.
His new song with Kwabna Ewam is really nice. The song is nice.
You know what? Let's not turn the morning into a music morning.
One day there was a time that the people at Star FM wanted me to host the mid-morning show when Francis Aban was there.
Yeah.
Or even the towards the end of the morning show, so we just do like a Daddy Lumba session. Because a lot of people don't listen to Daddy Lumba because they don't understand what he says.
Now that you've started this, I know Yenyenwe.
Okay, it's fine.
Yes, please. Okay. Yenyenwe. We'll do that tomorrow.
It's okay. You people are not nice.
All right. Okay, so let's bring you now inside out. There's quite a lot to talk about, especially looking at the issues surrounding the allegations of this administration clamping down on free speech. Let's do Inside Out. Okay, so we know that Parliament resumes today, and the MPs are getting ready to go back to the House. And so yesterday, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who is the 2028 flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, he met with the Minority Caucus in Parliament, ostensibly to touch on the issues from how they believe that they've been targeted, they are being arrested for things they say, and how they should also conduct themselves going forward when they get to the House. So let's take a listen to Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. We'll come back and have a conversation on that.
Addressing the Minority Caucus ahead of resumption of Parliament, Dr. Bawumia emphasized that the government must not be allowed to use state power in silencing critics or criminalizing political disagreements. The former vice president also called on his party members to engage in responsible political discourse.
Ghana's democracy was not built on fear, and no government must be allowed to use state power to silence criticism or criminalize political disagreement. With respect, the law as a party, we respect the law as a party. Indeed, we are a party of the rule of law. We respect due process, and we will always encourage our supporters to speak responsibly. But responsible speech cannot mean silent opposition. Let the country know that under our watch, Parliament will not look away when citizens are made to fear the simple act of speaking their mind.
Never.
He also accused the governing NDC of attempts to claim achievements of the Nana Addo administration as theirs. He urged the minority to jealously defend the records of the past government.
As we all know, stability is not an end to itself. It is a means to an end. If you ask the NDC today to name 3 policies that they implemented in 2025 that achieved this stability, 3 new policies, they cannot. They cannot name 3 new policies that they implemented that achieved this stability. And you couldn't have achieved this stability without the Gold for Reserves program, which they cannot claim as much as they try.
He finally refuted claims of attempts to see the back of MPs who supported other flag-bearer aspirants during the primaries. Dr. Bawumia cautioned against any attempts to remove any sitting MP in his name as flag-bearer.
Right, so that's the story there from yesterday's meeting between Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia and the minority MPs in Parliament. And so one of the things he talked about was how they believe that MPP people were being targeted, free speech was being impeded, and you know what has led to this point, where we've had some persons picked up for publication of fake news or false news, others based on what they said. And there's a case in court at Bronya DC. We saw what the Minority Caucus did. Apenyo Makin addressed the country on Sunday afternoon, hot afternoon, and decided to speak to the matter. Subsequently, the minority petitioned the diplomatic corps over this particular matter as well. And today or yesterday, we saw Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia also reiterate the point that, listen, this is where we find ourselves as a people. It is not good. If you claim that it happened during our time and it was bad, this time around, it cannot be any good. And I've seen so many people also run commentary on this matter. On the show, the whole of this week, we've had many people also share their thoughts on the issue of whether or not free speech is being clamped on. I remember last week when Serwaa, you sat with Julius Anthony and Ishak, he said, well, it's not about free speech. What is happening is people who are being picked up not because of maybe free speech issues, but because they were disturbing public order, as has been the case, especially in the last couple of weeks. And so there are these contentions there. The party believes it's been targeted. Government says this is not any form of targeting. But then it's quite interesting because when people talk about what happened in the previous administration, they cite Manasseh Azuri and what he went through. And it's quite interesting because this morning he's also made a post and said that, listen, yes, he went through some forms of challenges with regards to what he said then. But then we cannot discount the fact that it's worsened in recent times. And I'd like to call attention of people to that conversation as well, that if Manasseh Azuri, who the NDC cites, has been one of the people that suffered under the Akufo-Addo administration based on his views and opinions, is now saying that, yes, indeed it happened, but then we cannot lose sight of the fact that it's actually it's multiplied in this administration. That should be some cause for us to have a reflection and look into the issues. And Serwaa, you've also heard from Dr. Bawumia on this matter.
Yes, I have. And, I have also heard from the Attorney General on this matter, who says that the minority is exaggerating when they talk about, being gagged, when they speak. Because, yes, the Constitution guarantees free speech. But there are limitations. So you can speak freely, but know that your speech or whatever you say has got consequences. And the AG said also that we cannot allow people to speak in the name of speaking freely when they are inciting violence and they're saying things that is likely to cause a political uproar or, and the rest. And he cites, for instance, the genocide in Rwanda and said that it was the heavy use of the media that caused that. And if probably it was curtailed, we wouldn't have seen what happened in Rwanda. I have seen different opinions on this, right? Someone like Elvis Darko thinks that nobody should be arrested at all for anything they say, irrespective of what they say and how they say it. Nobody should be arrested. Well, you know what's sad about this? Is that the two political parties do it to themselves. So even when you condemn it, the next party that will come will return the favor, as has been the case. And that is why some members of the NDC will say that the NPP has got no moral right to criticize what is happening. The NDC say they suffered it when they were in opposition. We have already seen people say that even Dr. Bawumia's, statement last week that the day of accountability will come itself is a threat. That if and whenever NPP returns to power, they're going to reciprocate. So,
it's a worrying trend. It's a really worrying trend. And for me, what even worries me is what now is happening on social media, where known political figures are going at each other with unprintable words, calling themselves names. And I'm asking myself, we are talking about building a democracy where people can express their rights when it comes to free speech. But then if on social media we are going at each other in the way and manner in which we are currently doing, really, what legacy are we leaving? What kind of democracy are we building? I've heard people say that, listen, one of the challenges of our democracy is how we call it in Twi. So everybody feels that there should be no responsibility whatsoever when it comes to what you say. I, as a journalist in this space, clearly do have concerns when it comes to people being picked up for what they say. But then I also don't lose sight of the fact that you need to be responsible in the way and manner in which you speak. That we cannot take away, because it's said that where your rights end or where your rights end, someone's rights begin. So you're in exercising your rights, you don't need to impede the right of another person, and that's where we should be considered as people. This politics of insult has never helped us, will never help us, and I believe it's time that we really put some, some thought into this, because really, we've heard and seen in this country the kind of things people have said we repealed the criminal libel law, and I'm told from the NPP quarters that, well, what we are seeing is just a return of the criminal libel law as it stands. So I don't know, but I believe the political parties, one thing I like from what Dr. Bawumia said was the fact that in all of this, people should be also minded of the kind of things they say when it comes to political communication, because that's where it all goes wrong. And we know the power of speech and what it can do. So for me this morning, I'm just going to urge the political parties, tame your tongue. It doesn't kill to tame your tongue. And then make your points devoid of the insults, devoid of the acrimony and all of those bad blood. Yes, be very firm about your conviction, express it, but in expressing it, add some judgment. That's it from me this morning. Serwaa?
Yes, and I totally agree with you, Joshua. I totally agree with you. We have to be minded. You know, we need to change our politics in a way that what is condemnable today will be condemnable tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I really hope that we put the systems in place as well to get rid of some of these things permanently, because this business of NDC will come and glorify what is happening. NPP will also come do the same thing. You know, we can't continue like this.
Yeah.
We can't. We have seen people who are being arrested for similar, you know, in similar situations in the past. We have seen it. And the NDC members will cite many examples. They will cite, in fact, I have heard Felix Kwatiofosu say that government is not to be involved in this Abronye matter, for instance, because Abronye did not insult the president, did not insult the government. He insulted a judge, and it is the judge that is dealing with him. I don't even think that is the judge that is dealing with him, because if a judge wanted to, a judge could cite him for contempt.
Absolutely.
Which it's, you know, well, can be a jailable offense any other way, any way in which the decision will go. But you see, I heard the General Secretary of the NPP say that the reason for which the judge denied the accused person, which is Abronye bail, does not make sense. And that, you know, the judge said that the accused person may commit the offense again when granted bail. And I have seen people try to say that it does not make sense and that he is eligible for bail. But we have said this here, that yes, every offense is bailable. But it is always at the discretion of the court. And one of the conditions under which a court or a judge will deny you bail is when the judge thinks that you will go and commit another offense or even the same offense again when you are granted bail. You can decide or make your own conclusions whether you think this judge is right or not. But as to the ground, it is legit. It is not the judge saying it. It is in law. That a judge can, yes, you can commit a very minor offense. But if a judge is convinced that once you are put out there, you go and do the same thing or even worse, he or she has every reason to keep you. So, as to whether Abronye will do the same thing when he's released, because they say, members of the NDC who try to justify this say that Abronye has been arrested before for passing similar comments, was granted bail and went to do it again. So just maybe the judge is not wrong. But like Joshua said, we should be a little minded with the way that we speak sometimes. I have heard, you know, it's very painful when you have been a victim of such a circumstance. But really, when does it end? But we should also know that these politicians that we engage in all of these things for sometimes, they care very little about us. You know, they care very little about us. Very. So we should be guided, you know, in that way. And I was really hoping to hear IB's opinion on this, but IB's not here with us. But we would like to hear from you. Share your thoughts with us. You can use the hashtag GHToday. You can comment on our X, and then you can also comment on our YouTube page. We'll get it and we'll read it for you.
Definitely. Well, so that's it for Inside Out. Our guests are ready, and so we'll take a breather. When we come back, we get into the conversations.
Welcome back to the show. This is GH Today. I'm Serwaa Amihere, and it's time for the breakfast review. I'm here this morning with Raymond Edem Tamaklo. He's a member of the what's Government Communications Office?
Yeah, I'm a spokesperson
for the
government.
Oh,
so I work at the Government Communications Office at the Presidency.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
And Charles Opoku is a member of the NPP's communications team. Good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Show. All right. So we're going to start with the NPP and their allegation that there is a gag on free speech. So yesterday, the flag bearer of the NPP met MPs, the minority MPs, where he spoke again. But last week, he released a very strongly worded statement where he condemned the attack on persons who seek to hold government accountable with the arrests and all of that. The NPP has been speaking. Apenyu Marking has been speaking. I have seen a rebuttal from the Attorney General that the minority is just exaggerating with their allegations of, gag on free speech and whatnot. But here's what Dr. Bawumia said, right? That we are no longer healing. I want to quote him. We are preparing to govern. And also warned about state-sponsored persecution. And, the NDC has always said consistently that you don't have the moral right to be complaining about what is happening right now because you did the same thing to them when you were in power.
Right, thank you. To that? Let me say good morning to the viewers of this show and also the flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia. And about this issue, I have had the opportunity to talk about this issue extensively. And the position of the NPP must be made clear. And it is important that we don't mix up issues. That attempt to equalize, to create that false impression, to create that false narrative, that what happened at the NPP, the arrest of the NDC, is equally the same thing that is happening today, is going to be settled today. And I implore you to do your viewers that kind of professionalism that you uphold, that whoever that he cites, that the person was arrested and the NPP, you ask him to tell you what the person did and what was the mode of arrest and the procedure used to arrest the person or the procedure that the person was taken through. Because it is there and then that you can make conclusive arguments that the person's fundamental human right was abused. Now, Joy News, your sister station, has put out a very comprehensive analysis of what happened at the NDC. And in fact, their lawyer Yeneni, made a statement that in the entire 8 years of MPP, only 8 people in NDC were arrested relative to things that they said or posted on social media. In 8 years, 8 people. But in less than 2 years, over 16 people of the MPP have been arrested for things that they have said or posted on social media. So if under President Akufo-Addo, in the entire 8 years, 8 people were arrested and they labeled him as Nebuchadnezzar, then President Mahama arresting over 16 people in less than 2 years makes him a toxic mixture of the cruel traits of Adolf Hitler and Idi Amin. And President Mahama is the worst president the country has ever experienced when it comes to human rights. And President Mahama comes as someone who is calm, and that makes him very dangerous. It makes him dangerous in the sense that he's like the proverbial mouse. He will be biting you in the toe and will blow in cold hair at the same time, so you wouldn't feel it. By the time you wake up in the morning, you realize that he has caused serious damage. And basically, that is what President Mahama is doing.
What exactly did
he is the greatest beneficiary of the arrest that is going on. And his silence, are people not being arrested because of his government?
Why is he a beneficiary?
I'm saying that they are, okay, I will prove to you. You remember that President Mahama held a press conference and said that their government have system in place to trace people who make comments that they find distasteful, trace them through their IP and arrest them. And since he made that statement, MPP people have been arrested. Like every week, we get people being arrested.
How does that make him a beneficiary?
I'm saying that he made a statement. He said emphatically.
Fair enough, but how does it make him a beneficiary? Is it not his government? Is
he not the leader of this government? Is he not the president?
My question. How does it make him a beneficiary? I'm saying that. What does he benefit from those arrests?
He benefits because he wants to silence people. He wants to silence people from bringing out the rot in his government. And I will give you instances. So, Kofi Ofosu Nkansah made a statement that they are selling scholarship. This is known to everybody. In fact, NDC functionaries, NDC foot soldiers who are aggrieved on social media have made similar allegations that they are selling scholarships. They went to arrest Kofi Ofosu Nkansah in a Rambo style to the extent that they denied him access to go and take his dad to the hospital, and it led to the death of his dad. Is it not protecting President Mahama's government? And also say Obama. He made a post on social media, and literally it has to do with a picture of ammunition, people wielding arms in the northern part. And it had already gone viral on social media. In fact, he wasn't the originator of that post or that picture. But he was arrested at dawn with armed police officers and people from BNI. Is it not President Mahama's government that they are protecting? We have the likes of Fancy Comedy, who literally make mockery of the helicopter crash. And some of them even said that they would have been happy if it was President Mahama involved. They were arrested. Some of them spent 20 days in police custody. And I know two of the ladies. Personally, I know them. They have lost their jobs. They have lost their livelihoods.
So let me ask you this.
And when did it become a crime for people to express their wish that I wish this happened to this person? And more so when under Akufo-Addo's government, we had leading members of the NDC. We had Sami Jenfi, Broja Jenfi, saying that they wished God killed President Akufo-Addo and the vice president then, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. When did it become a crime? Tell me. You were a lawyer, I suppose. Where in our legal status, which law says that if I express my opinion that I wish someone perishes, it is illegal. It is an affront to our laws, and that person must be arrested and put behind bars for 20 days. Which law? Which law says this? And the attempt to equalize. You ask them, they will mention the likes of Apia Stadium. Apia Stadium sat on social media and accused President Akufo-Addo, a sitting president, of engaging in illicit drugs. He said President Akufo-Addo is a weed smoker. You know that weed is a banned substance. So now you are impugning criminality on not anybody but the first gentleman of the land. And the police will have to invite you, come and give us evidence. You cannot say that is free speech. You cannot equalize that with what our constituency organizer for Agona West said that Dumso is back. You cannot equalize that. That will be a disservice to Ghana, and it will be a disservice to our democracy.
Okay,
and
so let me ask you this: where do you draw the line between political commentary and making statements that incite violence, making statements that undermine trust in judiciary, for instance? Because hold on, let me land. And coming from the last one, you mentioned Abronye.
I haven't mentioned Abronye.
Okay, but I mean, of course, Abronye, you haven't mentioned Abronye.
I haven't.
Okay, but you get
because
there.
I'll get there. Yes.
Okay. So you're not done at all.
No.
Okay, cool.
If you want me to deal with the Abronye matter, you see, the Abronye matter, when the issue came up initially, they were like, Abronye has threatening the judge, and he's being prosecuted because he's threatening the judge. When they went to court, we've seen the charge sheet on social media. There is nowhere in the charge sheet that they said that Abronye had threatening the judge. Rather, they were saying that Abronye called the judge a politician who has put on a sack on his head, and he is not a judge. How is that a threat? How is that a misinformation? How can you say that will incite the public against the judge? This is literally something that can be dealt with by the judge herself or himself under the rules that govern contempt of court. It has nothing to do with the government. It has nothing to do with police. But Abronya have been arrested and he is being treated unfairly. Right now, they have remanded him to BNI custody till they finish the entire proceeding, the case. Meanwhile, the case actually hasn't started. And you made a point that the judge has a discretion when it comes to bail, when I was listening to you. But you know that Article 296 literally spells out how a judge should exercise discretion. It has to be exercised not in a capricious manner, not in an arbitrary manner. And this clearly conforms to that principle that it has been exercised capriciously and in arbitrary manner. Because you cannot tell me that you are keeping someone in police custody or BNI custody. Because when you let the person go, he will go and make certain pronouncements that you wouldn't be okay with. That is mind-boggling. So the point that I want to make is that all the people that the NDC claimed that they were arrested under Kufuor, those people made statements that attacked the national security of the state. For instance, they mentioned Mensah Thompson. This is somebody who constantly attacked the armed forces, who constantly attacked the legal system of the country to the extent that he had to come and apologize on a couple of occasions. And you know the person who made complaints to the police for him to be arrested? It wasn't the MPP. It was the armed forces. So that should tell you the gravity of the things that he was saying. Tell me which person among the 16 people that have been arrested that said anything close to what Alfred Thompson did. Even with that, when they arrested Alfred Thompson, they gave him bail 50,000 Ghana cedis. But somebody went to make mockery of President Mahama that they wished he was involved in that plane crash. And do you know the bail condition they slapped on that person? That those two ladies, 100,000 Ghana cedis each. And they had to be in police custody for 20 days. The last thing that I want to say is that the NDC, they can rationalize whatever that is going on. We said, no problem. You can rationalize the abuse of power, unlawful detention of MPP people, and how you are weaponizing bail and also the judiciary against the MPP. We say no problem, but you are going to opposition in 2029. And like I always say, we will use same laws. We will use same security architecture, the same national security, BNI, to do worse to you. And I tell them, it will not stop at them. We will come after their parents, their mothers, their sisters, everybody that is concerned with them. I'm telling you, and the position of the party, as espoused by the flag bearer of the party, is that those involved, the political actors behind these needless arrests, and also the police officers that they are using, the BNI officers that they are using, the law of the country, the constitution says that if you abuse your power, the state power given to you, if you trample upon people's fundamental human rights, it is illegal. And we promise them that when power changes, we will investigate all these arrests. And when it is established that people abuse the state power given to them and also trampled upon people's fundamental human rights, those people, we will take criminal actions against them. They will be prosecuted. And those that extra administrative actions needs to be taken against them, we will do so. It is a promise that we are giving to them. And they should understand that this MPP is not going to do book with them, code to them, book long. Law, let's go according to the books. No, you do me, I do you. The new MPP is brute. The new MPP is not forgiving. Me, they've been threatening me since I was in the US. When you post something on social media, they will come. When you come to Ghana, we will arrest you. When you come to Ghana, we will arrest you. And that is why I even came. That is even why I even came. So that they arrest me and it will give me a personal reason that when power changes, I always tell them, when power changes, some of us will lead the charge. Because people... Is that a threat? People, it's not a threat. I'm telling them. If I tell you that what you are doing, I will do same to you using the same law and police architecture. You can't say that is a threat. unless you are admitting that what you are doing is illegal.
Okay.
And basically, we are saying that we will do same thing to them. We will do even worse. We will use the same police. We will use the same security architecture. We will use
when
the
you
same
say
law.
we, who is we?
I'm talking about the party. I'm representing the MPP. So if I
So
say
this is
we
your
literally-
party's position.
It's the party's position. That is what the NDC
for
should
clarity
understand.
purposes. So
that is what
your
the
party's
NDC should
position
understand.
is that when you come back to power,
it has been stated over and over again that what the NDC are doing today and justifying that it is right. They are going through the books. They are using the law. They haven't infringed on anybody's fundamental human rights. When we come, we will do same thing to them. And nobody, I don't think you are about to say I'm saying something wrong. Because if you are saying I'm saying something wrong, that means what they are doing is wrong. And you should be telling them to stop. So basically, that is our position. And the NDC must understand that. And some of them, they are friends. They will call us and will be saying, oh, tone down, tone down. But you are friends, yet you are marching us, you are arresting our people.
all right.
So that is something they need to understand.
Okay.
That when power changes, they will also account for every single thing that they are doing.
Okay, please come in.
Serwaa, good morning to you. Good morning to my brother on the panel. And good morning to our cherished viewers. I am literally shocked. I am in shock that this is the official representation of the NPP on this panel, openly and boldly saying that the position of their party is that if they come to government, or if power changes hands and they come to power, they are going to suppress voices of dissent.
So is that what you're
That's
Please, no.
He's
no.
trying to quote me.
No.
Let him quote me right.
No.
No, I won't sit here for him
what
to...
did, what?
I didn't say that we will suppress free speech. I'm saying that what you are doing to us, right, we will do same to you.
You said you
the
use the
same law.
police machinery and you use all those people to do
I
the
didn't know
same
using.
thing.
I didn't know using.
I'm not saying that. I'm
Yes.
just repeating
So let
what you
him
said.
not put words in my mouth that we will suppress. I wouldn't sit here for him to.
But you are
misrepresent me.
accusing. Do you understand that you are accusing the government of suppressing free
Does
speech?
he agree to that?
Hold on. Use your party, please. Let me land. Your
right.
party is accusing the government of suppressing free speech. And by suppressing free speech, they are using state machinery to go after the people. And you are saying you will do the same thing to them.
Are they agreeing to what we are saying? Are they? You see, the
Let
point
him
that
know. You have made your point. Please let him
So the
land.
point
No,
that I need to
please.
establish is that he shouldn't put words in my mouth. I
Okay.
didn't say that we will suppress free speech. I
But
said we would
so
do
what,
same
on what
things to
grounds?
you.
On what grounds will you go around with the
Okay,
police
so
arresting the people?
I'm saying that if they say that Dumso is back, we will arrest them when we come to power.
But that's suppressing free speech.
So that is what they did. Are you admitting that they are suppressing free speech?
Me.
No,
It is not about it's where two
So
of you.
I'm saying that our constituency organizer said that Dumso is back and they arrested him.
And you are saying that
And they are
that's a
saying that it's
suppressing free
justified.
speech.
They are saying that it's justified. He
So if
broke the
someone
law.
makes a comment, you will arrest them.
I'm saying that the things that they are doing to us, we will do same to them.
All right,
It's
okay.
as simple as that.
Thank you.
So quote me that way.
Okay.
So-
unless you don't want to continue, because I won't sit here for him to put words in my mouth.
Okay.
So you have forcefully made the argument that the NDC government is suppressing free speech, and that if you are giving the nod to govern, you are going to suppress free speech.
You see, he
And that is
Please,
You see,
please.
you
I
can't-
will not allow you to.
I'm saying
he
that-
was quiet the whole
No, is
time
that
you
what
were
I said?
speaking.
Then he
Let
shouldn't
him
quote me
land. When
wrongly.
he's done, you
That
can.
is the point that I'm making.
Excuse me. I will give you a chance to rebut.
You
But
see, you need
please,
to correct him.
it is not in my place.
What if
I have
the
done
time
what
that
I can.
he says this
Please.
and it gets to my point, the person who listens to him isn't at the TV set or
Please,
before the TV set?
but what
So
you,
correct
when
him.
you were speaking,
I
he
didn't
was
quote
quiet.
him wrongly. I
He had
didn't
not even
misrepresent
spoken.
anything
Allow
that
him
he said.
to land.
So
Please.
let him not misrepresent anything that I'm saying. That is a simple argument I'm making.
All right.
Can you
please.
do that? Can you tell him?
So
I'm not going to sit here.
So you have told the entire world that the NDC government is suppressing free speech, and so if you come back to power, the official position of your party is that you will come and you suppress free speech. He would even go the extra mile, the extra extent to go after the parents, relatives, children, siblings of political actors who today, according to you, are suppressing free speech and members of your party. This is the official position of the NPP as we are being led to believe on the national television this morning. But I would leave that to the discerning minds of the people who are watching us this morning. But Serwaa, the point must be made that a government that is seriously minded about delivering on its promises and mandate to the Ghanaian people must at all costs protect free speech, must at all costs value the essence and importance of dissenting or discerning voices in society, because only then can we truly achieve and protect the interest and common good of the Ghanaian people. Indeed and in fact, the 1992 Constitution itself does value and sees the importance of free speech. It is why it is incorporated in Article 21 of the Constitution. But in the enjoyment of our rights, in the enjoyment of our freedoms, those rights and freedoms that are afforded us come with some limitations. They are not absolute. It is why in Article 12 of the Constitution, the framers of the Constitution said that the enjoyment of our rights and of our freedoms are subject. They are subject to the respect of the rights and freedom of other persons and of public interest and order. These are the words of the Constitution. And so by all means, criticize duty bearers, subject duty bearers to the highest form of criticism, the most robust scrutiny and interrogation that is allowed. Citizens are allowed under the Constitution to demand accountability from duty bearers and political actors who act on their mandate. But in doing so, we must not be reckless. In doing so, we must be responsible. And so free speech at all times must be done within the ambit and remit of the law. It must be done very responsibly and legibly. That is the dictate of the law. And the point must be made that there is a vast distinction between politically exposed persons who must be subjected to robust criticism and our judicial system and judges. If you do a proper reading of our laws, you would see that judges and the courts enjoy an extra layer of protection from scurrilous speech and conduct. If you read Article 1911 of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, it says that no person shall be convicted of an offense unless that offense is stated in law and a punishment prescribed to it, so that people who enforce the law would not abuse the law. But there is a single exception to that law in Article 1911, and that exception is in Article 1912 of the Constitution. It says that a court, on its own motion, can hold a person in contempt of itself, even when the contemptuous conduct complained of is not stated in written law. And so if you do a purposive reading of the law, it goes to show you that the framers of the Constitution wanted to give an extra layer of protection to our court system, to the justice delivery system, and to our judges. And the reason is that the judges rely or depend on their integrity and credibility to function. The reason why, if any disagreement arises, you and I would resort to the court is because we believe strongly in the integrity and credibility of the court. And so the law itself puts mechanisms and measures in place so that at all times that integrity that we rely on is well protected. And so we are not saying that judges are above scrutiny. We are not saying that the opinions or the rulings of the court are above scrutiny. But if we are doing so, it must be exercised within the remit of the law. It must be done responsibly. It must be done with a certain sight of the law in our mind? Are we saying that the conduct of Abronye DC is not scurrilous? That the conduct of Abronye DC is not irresponsible and reckless? Countries have been plunged into a state of anarchy and pandemonium for comments like this. You do not outrightly go out and simply because you have a certain free speech or a freedom to speak your mind, go and insult outrightly a judge and wave the law in our faces and say the law affords me the right to free speech. The law also enjoins you to be responsible. The law enjoins you to not be reckless in your commentary. And so you have Abronye DC who constantly and at all times insult all persons and allege all manner of things against people. The fact of the matter is that the judicial system, the judiciary, it holds together our democracy, the democracy we enjoy, the tranquility we have enjoyed, the peace we have enjoyed. It is the judiciary that holds it together. It holds it together because it has a certain integrity. It holds it together because it has a certain credibility. And so we must not engage in scurrilous conduct that goes to erode, degrade, and erase that integrity we have in our judicial system. We have listened to a certain trending video of Afenyo Markings, who at Parliament was charging his colleagues in 2024, especially his colleagues who are practitioners of the court, to at all times hold fidelity to the courts and to the rulings of the court. And where it is necessary, and where they are aggrieved by the rulings and opinions of the court, must use the same system to correct the system. And so why is Afenyo Marking today telling us that he is so aggrieved that he is willing and he would continue to disrespect judges of our courts? If Afenyo Marking is so aggrieved by the Abronye situation, Afenyo has all the opportunity and all the avenue to explore means within the law to address his grievances. But he continues to make an even more reckless and scandalous comment that he will continue to disrespect our courts and our judges. This is what we are talking about. See, there were times when we were growing up, walking past an elderly person in society without greeting is even considered sacrilegious. That is how much morally speaking, that is how much we revere authority in society. So we cannot even pass as a child or a kid on the road without greeting an elderly person. That is sacrilegious. And so what are we saying? That all persons must be allowed, because there is free speech or that there is freedom to speech, all persons can derogate and impugn the integrity of our duty bearers. The things Abronye said. There is this lady on social media they call Baomiaba or whatever her name is, who insults the President of the Republic in the most vituperative manner. You cannot say things like this to even your parents at home. You can't do that. But because you have a president, because it is a democracy, because we have the mandate that we give to politicians to act on our behalf, we can insult them in the manner and way which we are doing today. That is not a prescription of the law. And more so, like I have said, there is a greater protection for our courts, for our judges. And so, instead of insulting or continuing to denigrate and engage in reckless and scurrilous conduct that denigrates the credibility and integrity of the court system, Afenyo Marking must be more minded, must advise the members of his party to explore means within the law to address it. And I want to make the point very clear. And President Akufo-Addo once gave an interview and said that he is not in charge of arrest of people in Ghana, and that the law enforcement agencies and the courts are in charge. And so if you engage in a certain conduct that falls foul of the law, and law enforcement agencies crack the whip, how is it President Mahama is doing? And how, as you have rightly asked, how does President John Dramani Mahama benefit from such?
Okay,
Article 56.
Your boss, Felix Kwatiofosu, said that this had nothing to do, government had nothing to do with, like, for instance, Abronye's arrest. Mm-hmm. But Abronye is being kept by the BNI. At what point do you say that, I mean, BNI is a state institution.
Yes.
So where do you draw the line and say that it's got nothing to do with government?
So the point is that law enforcement institutions are independent and can act on their independence. I mean, in line of their duty, they can act on their own intelligence-led investigations and enforce the laws. And that is a fact.
They act under executive authority.
And the point is that, for example, Section 56 of the Criminal Procedure Act gives the Attorney General, we all do accept and make the concession that the Attorney General is seized with all prosecutorial powers of state. But under Section 56 of the Criminal Procedures Act, the Attorney General can give a fiat to the police to prosecute. And this mandate to prosecute is not on a case-by-case basis. Once the mandate is given, it becomes a standing mandate. And so at all times, where the police service or law enforcement feels it necessary that according to their independent investigation, they need to take criminal action, they can't take criminal action on the basis of the intelligence they have gathered. And that point must be made. And that distinction between Attorney General, political actors, and our law enforcement agencies must be said. It is not in all circumstances when the police act or the BNI act must be construed to mean that political actors or the governance or political architecture is acting. It is not the case. And that separation must be made. And BNI continues to hold Abronye because the court has made its orders. And the court is right to make those orders under Section 96(5) of the Criminal Procedures Act, that where the court feels it necessary that the individual in question would go on to commit other crimes, the court has the discretion to hold such person and deny the person bail. And all of these are within the ambit and remit of the law. And for me, the comments of Afenyo Markins and the leading members of the NPP are reckless, irresponsible. Like I've said, and as I've highlighted, countries have been plunged into a state of anarchy and pandemonium because of reckless comments like this. And I refuse any idea, I refuse any proposition that we must allow this conduct to continue to fester, that we must allow the moral fiber of our society to decay on the altar of political sensationalization and sentimentality, where it becomes necessary for law enforcement to act and bring some sanity to our society. They must act. And political actors, political activists must be more responsible. They must not be irresponsible. They must not be reckless in their bid to criticize government. In any case, if indeed it is the case that it is a government policy to clamp down on free speech, then leading members of the NPP who continue to criticize this government, including my brother sitting on this panel this morning, would not even be here because they would have been arrested. Who is more vociferous and critical of government than Miracles Abachi? He criticizes the government. Their communications director, Richard Ahiagba, all of these individuals, they continue to criticize this government. They have not been arrested. Why? Because their criticism and scrutiny of government has been done responsibly. And so there would be no cause to arrest them. He is here because he is confident. If indeed we intend to clamp down on free speech, he will not even move out of his room because we would have arrested him. There were times in this country where hoodlums of the NPP would go into studios to extract panelists because they think the panelists have said something against their party that they do not like. In the middle of shooting or in the middle of streaming, they will barge into studios. We have seen this in this country. Journalists, social activists, members of civil society organizations, political actors, all these people were not spared. Serwaa, if indeed there's a policy to clamp down on free speech, you see, one of the things that show whether or not a government allows free speech is Press Freedom Index. And some of the sect of society that gives responsible criticism of government is the media and journalists. They criticize government, but they do it professionally and responsibly. And so you would see that when you look at the press freedom,
you don't determine how people choose to criticize government.
So we don't determine. The law determines.
Yeah, but there's no guidelines.
There are.
You mean to say that you should be responsible?
Yes.
Yeah, but if you say that it is done professionally, there's nowhere in the laws that says that you must criticize professionally.
No, I'm not saying so. But I am saying that in criticizing, it must be responsible. And it must be done within the ambit of the law. And the law in Article 12 says that your exercise of your freedom and of your rights are subject to the respect of rights and of public order. That is instated in the law. And I am telling you.
So how does Abonye saying that a judge is a politician who is wearing a sack on his head be a threat to public order?
No. Well, did we not all see the charge sheet? He was charged under Section 207 and 208 of Act 29. And the spellings of the law is clear. He engaged in offensive conduct that is conducive to breach public order.
And
he publicized false information.
I have seen Section 207 and 208. But I'm asking that how does those statements breach Section 207 and 208?
He publicized false information. When you say that a judge is a politician, is it not false? Is it not false when you say a judge is a politician? How is it a judge if he's a politician? There is a clear distinction between politically exposed persons and judges and of the courts and judges of the court. And so if a judge who has gone through the requirements to become a judge, then you go and openly say that the person is not a judge and the person is wearing a sack on his head, acting as a judge or masquerading as a judge. Meanwhile, such a person is a politician. Is that not false? Does he have any evidentiary basics to categorically say that the judge is a politician and not a judge? If you are aggrieved by the ruling or the opinion,
how does that disturb public order?
You see, when you are aggrieved,
please make me understand.
I am telling you. I am telling you the specific law under which he is being charged. And so, if you want to talk specifically about Abonye, then we have to talk about the charges under which he's been brought, the charges that have been brought against him, which is specifically 208, publication of false information. And I've given you how. I've demonstrated to you how, when you say a judge is a politician without any evidentiary basis, would constitute false publication. Is that not it? Is that not false publication? And so, how do you say the judge or the law enforcement would not be right to charge him under such a law? But the point I'm making to you is that if indeed there was a clamp down on free speech, we would not have moved on the press freedom index from 50 to 39 as we are speaking. If we are saying that there's a clamp down on free speech, he would not be here. If we are saying there's a clamp down on free speech, he's their youth organizer who continues to engage in reckless commentary would not be so emboldened to make those commentaries. In this country, the only reason why today the MPP cannot find sympathizers is because they supervise the worst form of clamp down on free speech in this country. Journalists were not excluded. Members of civil society organizations were not excluded. Frontal political actors were not excluded. Social activists were not excluded. Manasseh Azuri, they literally hounded Manasseh Azuri out of this country because he engaged in investigative journalism. Bobie Ansah, they hounded Bobie Ansah because he said something about the First Lady of the Republic. They hounded Captain Smart, all of whom are journalists. And you saw our record on the Press Freedom Index. They hounded social activists. Rafik, who only predicted that there would be DDEP. And indeed, there was DDEP. But he was hounded and was held, giving traumatizing experience. Bongo Ideas, your friend, was also hounded.
How is he my friend?
Your Bongo, come again?
How is he my friend?
Well, I'm just speaking generally.
He's not my friend.
That's fine. Okay. No problem. I already know that. But Bongo Ideas was hounded.
How is he relevant in this conversation?
He's relevant because he was hounded. He was kidnapped. Were you not in this country? Were you not?
He was kidnapped by who?
You were not in this country.
He was kidnapped by who?
Law enforcement. Bongo,
which law enforcement?
According to his own account. According to Bongo Ideas account, he was.
Which law enforcement?
Hold on.
Sorry, but you have to answer. What is hold on?
Yes.
Which law enforcement?
Let me. I mean, we can. I think is it national security? Yes. national security. According to Bongo
and
ideas,
that was government. But this NIB, which
if it is the case,
BNI,
you're not getting the point.
Is a government institution, is not linked
the point
to
I'm making is that if it were the case that it is government policy, then we can say that all of these things were perpetrated and presided over by them. And for this reason, they would have lost the moral rights to be talking about this matter.
Okay.
And so under them, Bongo Ideas was literally kidnapped, according to his own account, by national security, social activists, members of civil society organizations. Mensah Thompson was equally subjected to the rigors of the law because he said something that the government did not like. If indeed we want to go on this tangent, then we can do the policy of equalization without coming to the reforms that we need in our national discourse. And the reforms we need in our national discourse is the fact that criticize duty bearers all you want. Criticize political actors all you want. But in doing so, exercise the right to free speech responsibly. Is all law enforcement is saying. Is all the judges of the courts are saying. Is all the judicial system is saying. And you cannot engage in scurrilous conduct that degrades the integrity and credibility of our court system. The only reason why our democracy is surviving, the only reason why the Fourth Republic itself is surviving is because we have a certain reverence for the judiciary, for the judicial processes, and for our judges. The moment we begin to lose our confidence in the integrity and credibility...
But judges are not above criticism, are they?
Fair concession made. Judges are not above criticism. But like Afenyo said, if you are aggrieved by the outcome of a certain court decision or ruling of the court, explore means within the law or within the system to make sure that your grievances are addressed.
Okay.
The law does not say that if you are aggrieved, go and insult judges, go and impugn the integrity of the judicial process without any evidentiary basis. The moment we begin to do that, then we would lose the confidence in our judiciary, we would lose the confidence in our democracy itself. And so we need to reform our society. We need to restore the moral fiber of our society. And like I've said, and I will continue to stress, countries have been plunged into a big state of anarchy and pandemonium because of reckless, unrestrained, and irresponsible commentary.
Okay. All right. Do you want to have a bite?
Yes.
Very quick, please, so we can move on to the next topic.
Thank you. So the party that killed judges for disagreeing with their judgment is now telling us that the judiciary must be protected. The party...
So why you would accept this?
Didn't your party kill judges?
Do you have any evidence?
Didn't your party,
Do you have any evidence?
NDC came from PNDC. Didn't PNDC kill judges? Please, allow me. This is public record.
Which party were?
NDC,
do you have any evidence?
Party,
NDC,
your party,
do you have any evidence to that?
Please.
So you allow this on your platform?
Of this?
That the NDC killed judges?
Ignorant of political history.
Do you have
your party?
Do you have any evidence that the NDC killed judges?
I'm saying that take your phone.
These are the reckless and irresponsible commentary we are talking about. These are the reckless and irresponsible commentary we are talking about on national television.
Bro.
NDC where? Do you have any evidence?
Allow me.
If
you are telling
NDC
that
killed
you
judges,
are ignorant that your party...
These are the reckless commentary we are talking about.
In this country.
And this is not like on national...
Who are giving birth fresh was killed by your party. You are telling me that you are ignorant of that. You are asking me,
do you have any evidence? Do you have any evidence?
Take your phone. The evidence.
Do you have any evidence?
Go to Google.
These are the reckless and irresponsible commentary. And if law enforcement comes for you right now, you cry that free speech is being clamped upon. The recklessness.
Listen, behave yourself.
In comment.
Behave yourself.
You are being reckless.
Behave yourself.
You are being reckless.
Let national security come and arrest me that I have said that your party.
It does appear that now
your party
they are rushing. They're in a competition. They're in a competition to be arrested.
Your party killed judges, and it's a fact.
They are enjoying the public attention.
Why are you apprehensive about me stating the fact?
Yeah,
you need to call him to order because I haven't mentioned
this is terrible.
So the point must be made. If you are ignorant of that, that's fine.
You are being reckless.
The viewers out there know that your party killed judges.
You are being reckless and irresponsible.
That deliberately attacked the Chief Justice of the Republic, Justice Tokuno. And when you came to power, sinister strategies were used to hound her out. It's telling us that the judiciary must be protected. And it's laughable. You are telling us that Abronya should provide evidence that the judge is a politician. When you were calling the then Chief Justice, Justice Tokuno, MPP National Women Organizer, where were your evidence? What evidence did you provide? When you were calling the Supreme Court, the entire Supreme Court, unanimous FC, where was your evidence? Which evidence did you provide? Who was arrested? You are telling us that today, if people make statements and you think that statement is false, the person should be arrested. Why didn't we arrest Sami Gyamfi when he lied blatantly on TV that when Ghanaians buy electricity, the money goes into Dr. Bawumia's pocket because he owns. Please.
Are you in this?
Why you this G3? Why are you so?
Are you in this country? You didn't arrest him.
Why are you so
I did not allow him to interject.
Why are you so
please allow him.
Behave yourself. So, if Sami Gyamfi could lie blatantly on TV that when Ghanaians buy electricity, the money goes into Dr. Bawumia's pocket, and that is what funds his campaign, and he wasn't arrested. You are telling us that somebody stating the fact that Dumsor is back, somebody putting up a post where President Mahama and other ministers are clouded in colors of LGBTQ based on his position that today LGBTQ is not a priority to him. It's a crime. You see, what you need to understand is that you can never rationalize the arrest, the unnecessary arrest that is going on, and you can never equalize. Because as you went all about in circles. You couldn't justify even a single arrest. With Adwanye's case, you were asked directly, tell us what constitutes breach of public order whatsoever that justify the charge that you guys are prosecuting him for. You couldn't even justify. You couldn't even explain it. You just ran circles. But the point must be made is that if I were you, I would be worried that my political party NDC is weaponizing free speech. I would be worried because NDC, the very things that you used to win political power, you are criminalizing it. NDC has never won political power with truth, fact, data. Since 2008, when you won elections, it was because you people lied, attacked President Kufuor, attacked President Kufuor. You said President Kufuor has stolen all the gold in Ghana and hid it abroad. You said that President Kufuor appointees have fat bank accounts. You were running around in villages. That is what brought you to power. When you won power and your ministerial nominees went to parliament, they were apologizing. In 2024, you lied your way through to power. You lied your way. Malik Basantali, always sitting on radio and TV, accusing Dr. Bawumia of drinking apetisi, eating pork, blatant falsehood. You come to power with lies. Today, you are weaponizing it. And that should tell you that the next time that you go to opposition, it will be difficult for you to come to power again. Because this narrative, this precedence that you are setting up, we will always tell you, we will always say it, that same thing will be used against you. The next MPP government, Sami Gyamfi wouldn't have the audacity to lie on president, the next president of the country in MPP's name, which will be Dr. Bawumia. He will not have the audacity to say that Dr. Bawumia owns Hartel. He wouldn't. Malik Basantali will not have the audacity to call Dr. Bawumia that he is a religious prostitute. They wouldn't have the audacity. The lies of, what is it, the NEIP man, all those people, they wouldn't have that mouth. The very things that brings you to power, you are disarming yourself. You are taking it away from yourself. And it is a promise that we are giving all of you. It is a promise. You can say whatever that you want. But I will always assure you guys that the things that you are doing to MPP and you are trying to rationalize it, bringing in Mensah Thompson, who threatening the security of the state to the extent that the armed forces, the Ghanaian armed forces, which is not political, will have the recourse to petition the police to arrest him. You are talking about Captain Smart, who sat on radio and TV to attack the president. And when he was invited by the CID, he didn't go. So they had to arrest him. You are equalizing that. You are telling us that those who made mockery of President Mahama and they were arrested, they are in the same soup. You are rationalizing that with this. But you see, power is transient. That is something that you need to understand. That whatsoever this NDC government is doing, it will come back to bite them real hard. And the next time that you will be in opposition, the very things that will bring you to power, you may not have access to it. We also how you guys hail Kevin Taylor. Who hasn't Kevin Taylor insulted in this country? Kevin Taylor has insulted Otunfuo. He has insulted all pastors in this country. He has insulted all chiefs in this country. He has attacked Ashantis constantly. He has attacked every tribe. But when Kevin Taylor came to Ghana, he had state security protecting him. In fact, he used the VIP where presidents pass at Kotuka. That is the kind of courtesy you gave to someone who was standing trial, who was a fugitive, because the court called him to appear before the court and he resisted. He never went. You guys blazingly gave him that pageantry. Like you gave him that.
It's brazenly, not blazingly.
Please. I haven't even used the word brazen. So why?
What is blazing?
My brother, stop being jittery. I haven't even used the word brazenly. So why?
You said blazingly.
Please make your point.
You guys indeed led Kevin Taylor to court with full armed national security operatives to protect him, and you had your way in court. The very charges that he was standing trial for was, thrown into the dustbin in a very funny way. And these are the people making arguments that people are being harsh on the government. People are making irresponsible comments. You ask them which irresponsible comment, they will tell you that somebody said Dumso is back. Somebody put up a post where President Mahama is clouded in the colors of LGBTQ. You ask them, they will say Abronye said that the judge is a politician. If the judge is a politician, something that he has said based on a narrative, based on a pattern, that particular judge is the only person that this NDC government takes MPP people they have arrested to. And there is a certain way of judgment that the judge gives. Is it not right to call that judge politician? And how is that a misinformation? And how is that even the business of the government? If the judge felt offended and think that it's an affront to the judiciary, the Constitution make provision for that to be cured. Why is it that the judge didn't cite him contempt for him to appear before the judge? We are in this country. We saw Ken Kranche being cited contempt, and he was there. He went to answer for it. He was incarcerated for it. So why is it that the state is taking up the case and prosecuting him under frivolous charges that will not hold water? And you see, this government, their strategy is that they will charge you with frivolous things, which they know they can't secure conviction. But they will punish you before they go through the full hog of the legal process. So what they will do is that they will deny you bail. When they arrest you, they will hide you away from your lawyers. They will make sure that they keep you in police custody for a considerable number of days. So that even at the end of the case, it didn't go their way. They have already punished you. And we are saying that bail condition and manipulating the law and the legal system to punish people unduly, similar things will be used against you. Similar things will be done to you. So you just sit here and justify it. The shoe is on another foot.
All right.
So it's not hurting you.
Yes.
So
quickly,
yes, let me make some interventions. So the NDC, as a political party, under the Fourth Republic, did not kill any judge. That point.
But I didn't say Fourth Republic. I didn't say Fourth Republic.
When did NDC start? 1992. NDC started in 1992. That's the Fourth Republic. You said your party, NDC. So the point must be made.
You call you.
Please allow me.
You always refer to
NPP. The point must be made that the NDC, as a political party that has been instituted in 1992 under the Fourth Republic, did not kill any judge. And so it is reckless and irresponsible commentary to sit on a national platform and allege that the NDC killed any judge without any evidentiary basis. This is the reason why law enforcement is cracking the whip. And it is as though there's a certain competition within the NPP to see who can make reckless and irresponsible commentary so that they can be arrested. Then he goes on about Sami Jemfi and what he said about Bawumia. Who doesn't know the involvement of Dr. Bawumia as vice president in the PDS scandal, who changed a condition precedent to a condition subsequent, which later turned out fraudulent, and monies that were paid in electricity bills were lost to the state? It was Dr. Bawumia.
Why is he not standing firm?
Who changed
him?
a requirement of a condition precedent to a condition subsequent that was fraudulent? And so we all know, the involvement of Dr. Bawumia
is owned by a president, a vice
PDS
president.
scandal.
Why are you not sticking to that?
I have made the point that law enforcement, by their own independent investigations, can enforce the law. And that point is clear. And so I don't understand the reasoning or the saying that why is the judge not exploring means within the law to bring Abronye before it, or why are we not using the law? Why was Abronye sent to court under any other authority than the law? He was sent to court under the very law. Statutes are part of our laws. And if you do a clear reading of the Constitution, you would know that Act 29 is a valid law. And he was sent under sections 207 and 208. That is another avenue afforded by the law itself. And so government or no political actor has gone to ask the judge to enforce the law, or law enforcement to held Abronye before the court. Abronye, according to the judgment of the court, was before the same court under similar charges and was granted bail. The next minute he was granted bail, he went on to engage in this careless conduct for which he has been brought back. And it is the reason why currently he has been refused bail. The NDC does not delight in wanting to clamp down on free speech. We don't have any such motive. And if some persons do feel like that and think that it should be their national policy or governmental policy when they come to power to clamp down on free speech, we do not delight in it. All we have said, and I have listened to the Attorney General, I have listened to Afenyo Making in 2024, is that you have a right to free speech, you have the freedom of speech, but in exercising your freedom of speech, do it within the ambit of the law. Do it respectfully. Do it in a way that is responsible. Do it in a way that does not go to impugn the integrity of our court system. It is all we are saying. And so if you feel aggrieved by the outcome of the decision of a court, use the law. Explore avenues and means within the law to correct the grievance. It is that simple. That you have free speech is not a waving license to insult people in society. Is not a waving license to impugn the integrity and credibility of duty bearers without any evidentiary basis. It is all we are saying. If indeed it were the case that the NPP does not have any moral right or authority whatsoever to have any voice or say on this matter, because like I said, they have supervised the worst form of clampdown on free speech. And I've given you the evidence.
All right, thank you.
Journalists were not spared. Civil society members were not spared. Political actors were not spared. Social activists were not spared. From Sami Jemfi to Bongo Ideas to Kweku Rafiki to Bobie Ansan Kamti Smart, all of these individuals,
what did they do? What did they do?
These individuals, in one way or another, were intimidated. What they said. And at the time, ironically, Bawumia was the chairperson of the police council. So if we want to go by the analogy, should we say that Bawumia was a person who directly supervised this form of intimidation and clamped down on free speech as chairperson of the police council when he was vice president? And so this equalization does not enrich the national conversation. I have said countries have been plunged into a state of anarchy and pandemonium because of reckless commentary, scurrilous conduct. And so in protecting the social fiber or the moral fiber of our society, we need to make sure that our conduct...
This is you justifying Rollins telling the judges.
We need to make sure...
This is a tweet.
We need to make sure that
Serwaa,
the laws the laws
could read this
are
to my
observed
brother.
and
This is
applied appropriately.
justifying
We need
the
to make sure that our
judges.
commentary are just. We need to make sure that our commentary are backed by substance.
You answer to
we need
this.
to make
You
sure
won't run away
that
from
our
it.
commentary
You won't run away
is
from it at all.
responsible. It is that simple.
Serwaa, please.
All right. So the Peace Council.
This is you.
This is you. This is who?
Him.
Him who?
This man. He's justifying the killings.
What did
Killing
he
what?
say?
Killing. What did I say?
I'm going to read it to
Read
you.
it.
You said that. I'm sure now we all know why Rawlings did all of the things he allegedly did. Sometimes what it takes is a brutal overhaul.
So an overhaul
No
means
conscience,
what?
No principle, no integrity.
So what is the
and
import?
One of the fundamental accusations, in
And
fact,
this is-
so
this is killing.
Exactly. How does that equate to killing?
The blood.
How does
on
that
the
equate to killing?
administration
You see,
and
you
the
see,
military intervention
you lack
of
comprehension.
Rawlings
You
is
lack
the
comprehension
killing of these
You are
judges,
exposing
three
yourself.
judges.
How does
You
this
were-
equate to killing?
You were justifying
You are
every
exposing your
single
lack of
brute
comprehension.
force that
You are
Rawlings
exposing
did
your
in this
lack of
country.
comprehension on national
You are being
television.
deceived.
How does this? How
You are
does this
being-
reading?
you-
How do
you are-
you
you are
read this
brazenly
and
admitting
interpret
that you are
and
ignorant.
equate it to killing?
You are brazenly
lack comprehension
admitting that you
on
are
national
ignorant.
television.
You don't even understand
How does
the things
this-
that you wrote.
How
That
does
you are
this-
saying that
I who wrote it does not
everything
understand,
that
but you
Rawlings
understand it
had
better.
been accused.
You see,
he was
you
right
lack comprehension.
of doing
That's what you're
that.
demonstrating.
That is basically you
How
said.
does an overhaul equate to
Rawlings
killing?
has been accused.
All right,
He's
let's
not
move
even
on.
accused.
Let's deal with the
Read.
last. Let's
Read
deal with the
and have
last.
comprehension.
It's
Read.
a
Okay,
fact.
thank you,
Read.
gentlemen. It's
Read.
enough.
Right.
It's enough.
Right.
Read.
The National Peace Council
Read
has
and have
called for-
comprehension and stop
Listen,
disgracing yourself.
Please. The National Peace Council has called for calm and restraint amid rising political tensions in the country, following recent arrests of political actors over alleged unlawful public comments. Now, we know that the NPP sent a petition to the diplomatic corps after the arrests of Abronye DC. In a press statement released yesterday, the National Peace Council expressed concern about the development and urged all parties to respect due process and constitutional provisions. They stressed that Ghana's democracy is anchored on the rule of law and called for moderation in public discourse, particularly among political actors and practitioners, media practitioners. Now, this is one of the things that they said, that Ghana's democracy is anchored on the rule of law, and it's also urged all political parties to respect due process, constitutional provisions. So to the NPP, it said that the threat to make the country ungovernable is incompatible with democratic norms regardless of provocation. Grievances must be pursued through legal and constitutional channels, not through threats of mass disruption. And to the government, arrests must follow due process, access to counsel must be guaranteed, and security agencies must not be used as instruments of political suppression. And to the media, moderation in public discourse must extend to how the media frames and amplifies these political disputes. Are we making any progress as long as our democracy is concerned, or these things are, affecting us? Because we have a very beautiful image, outside or to the world that we uphold democracy. Why are we not being tolerant of each other? The Peace Council has spoken.
So,
Please, because of time, let's make this very fast.
We must emphasize the point that MPP, on our part, we have never been disruptive. We have never done anything that violates any of our laws. If you look at all the arrests that this government has made, nobody can justify the arrest. In fact, if you should put them to street proof, and if they should go through the legal hall throughout to the latter, they cannot secure any conviction, not to sound prejudicial. I'm making a general statement. Because if you take the case one after the other, none of them can be said to have put out misinformation. None of them can be said that the statement they made will jeopardize national security. or it threatens somebody's life, not even a judge, even an ordinary person in Ghana, none of them, none of the statements that people are standing trial for, people have been persecuted because of the statement they made, none of them can be said to have violated any part of our law. So that is the point. That is the honesty national the Peace Council must come from. They need to admit.
When the young man in Kumasi was Apia Stadium said that the president, in your words, that he smokes weed. How did that disrupt?
So you know for a fact that weed is a banned substance. Smoking weed is illegal. If the president smokes weed, deals in weed, that means that the highest seat of government is actually promoting illegal substance. And if you have evidence of that, that's why you are saying it. The police will invite you, come, provide it so that we arrest the president.
Okay.
I'm asking you, which of these people that have been arrested that has impugned criminality on any government official or even the president?
Okay.
Which of them?
Let me give you an, I mean, not to equalize, but you saw that post where there were posters, flyers done with the president, the minister for communication, with the LGBTQ signs there. We are a country that supposedly frowns very much on these activities, but somebody thought that it was okay to do that to a sitting president. Oh, now you want context?
Yeah, I want context because the president himself, during the campaign in 2024, said that LGBTQ was a priority. The moment you win political party, you said it's not a priority, and you don't want to talk about it. And the law that your own minister pursued, in fact, he was the one who initiated it, said that, it's not something that I will follow. That is a
when did the minister say that?
No, I'm saying that the president said that it's not a priority. LGBTQ+.
The president didn't say that.
He said that it wasn't a priority to him anymore.
It was his minister for communication.
The president, so who does he speak for?
But LGBTQ
so I'm asking, was he sharing his own personal position?
Is it a matter of priority to you?
He said it is. That is the main campaign message of the NDC. In 2024, that you held series of demonstrations. At a point, we had a whole party holding demonstrations, series of demonstrations, calling on the clergy and everybody that we need to sign the bill into law. It was a priority to them. So if you become president and you are telling us that it's no longer a priority, that is a tacit endorsement of that act. And within that context, if someone posts your picture saying that you are now encouraging LGBT, more so when it has never happened in Ghana before that someone who is a gay will travel from his country to come and desecrate Ghana. It had never happened until your reign. We had members of the LGBT community traveling from their home country to Blaster Square. That is where the spirit of Ghana is. To desecrate the entire country, our dignity, our integrity, the spirit of the country. They went to kiss them.
So why didn't you just sign
right
the bill
and
into
appropriate.
Law, why didn't the
you want us to go into that argument?
Yeah, but I mean, if you dislike it that much, why didn't
you want us to go into that argument? You know that there was an injunction. You were a lawyer. That there was an injunction on it, and let's even admit we didn't want to sign into law. Why are those proponents, those who led the charge, now running away from the same law? You brought the law. You initiated the law. You campaigned based on that law. You did series of demonstrations on that law. You promised Ghanaians. In fact, Sam George is on record to have said that President Mahama has promised the clergy and the Muslim community that the moment he assumes office as president, he will sign that bill into law. This is Sam George who threatened a whole Australian high commissioner of physical assault because he alleges that the woman was going about spreading LGBTQ stuff. Such an international diplomatic crisis he wanted to bring to Ghana. And today you have the power to sign that bill into law, and you are telling me that it wasn't a priority. And if someone says that because of that, it is an endorsement. You are encouraging the act. You claim that is misinformation. That is what disinformation.
Okay, thank you.
That's what. So you are going to arrest the person and you you bundle the person into car from Bunu region to Accra, just to assault his fundamental human rights.
All right, thank you. Please, I don't know even know if you landed on it, but you need to land for me. Did you?
Actually, I didn't. But the point that I want to make is that Peace Council must be honest in their dealings.
Okay.
They must admit to the fact that all these arrests are needless. The detention are unlawful, and the bail and the courts are being weaponized against the MPP. And MPP members arrested, they haven't done anything, but we haven't caused any problem in this country. If we were to cause even 1% of the noise, cacophony, and chaos that the NDC caused in the lead up to the 2024 elections, they would have run from government by now. So the Peace Council must approach this with all sincerity, honesty, and candid. They should be candid with the facts. We wouldn't accept the approach that let's be general, let's blame everybody, let's advise everybody. They should call a spade a spade. They should call the government to order. They should tell them that they should stop the needless arrest. They shouldn't be persecuting political actors who merely say the truth. People are being arrested for saying the truth. People are not being arrested for being reckless. Nobody has been reckless. They are arresting our people for saying the truth. You say that Dumswa is back, they arrest you. You say that the president has endorsed LGBTQ, they will arrest you. Kodjo Fosun Kansan said that you people are selling scholarship, which is a fact, which your own food soldiers have been saying it on social media. You are arresting. People are being arrested for saying the truth, saying the fact. Okay. That is what they need to admit to and advise the government to stop.
So it has been insufferable listening to my brother over here, as I'm sure is the case of our viewers. If indeed the NPP were so minded, if indeed it was a priority for them, why did they not sign the anti-LGBTI bill? Why are we still having this conversation today?
But why haven't you also signed it?
Hold on.
You promised that you were going to sign. You politicized it.
Yes, of course we did. And I'm not shying away from that argument at all. Then he goes to hide under the banner of injunction. An injunction which the president had already come to announce even before it was filed at the court. And what was the outcome of the court? And I would surmise that even a level 100 constitutional law student would know that you cannot challenge the constitutionality of a bill until it is properly baked into law. And that was the outcome of the court. And President Akufo-Addo, who is an astute lawyer, should have known that. But because he did not want to sign the bill, he shied away from it. You listen to the former finance minister. He said that if we signed that bill, we risk losing millions of dollars from foreign donors. And it is a singular reason why President Akufo-Addo shied away from that bill. Now, the NDC, we told the people that if we come to office, if they give us their mandate, we were going to sign that bill into law. But the point must be made. Is President Mahama to conjure the law and sign it? Because of your conduct, because you shied away from signing that law, it died with your term. It died with your tenure. And so we need to commit scarce resources of state into formulating a new bill in Parliament.
I'm sorry, but I mean, we have seen you pass, bills into law since you've been back. If it was important for you, you would have done it.
Serwaa,
please, would you not have done it?
And I'm telling you that
now you realize that
the law is. Do you know the bill is before Parliament?
You did not know that it died with the eighth Parliament, when you said that when you come to power, yes, you will sign it.
Yes, we knew.
So what is this excuse of dedicating scarce resources to it?
Because when you read the law, there are processes which you go through before a bill is properly baked into law.
Did you not know this when you were making the promise?
I'm not even getting the argument here, because currently the bill is before Parliament. The President has said that once Parliament is done with its constitutional work and he comes to his death, he is going to sign. Simplicity. So where is the argument, Serwaa?
So
the law is before Parliament.
How long have you been in power for?
Are you suggesting?
How long have you been
Are you suggesting that President Mahama should coerce Parliament into bringing the law? Is that what you're trying to say?
You have majority in Parliament.
Yes,
majority.
So if you wanted it, if you wanted it, because you see, you have made, you have said, hold on, you have said a lot of things right now. You have said,
yes.
First, do we expect President Mahama to conjure the bill?
Yes.
Second, you say we are dedicating scarce resources.
Because they did not sign.
Okay. Now, you are saying what? That if the President Mahama has said if it is ready, he will sign it.
Yes.
So where are we with the bill?
The bill is going through its consideration stage. Is that not the case?
What consideration?
Recently, I saw. Look at that. He doesn't even know. You are exposing your ignorance on the platform.
All the rudiments of
it died. It died with your tenure. And so, according to the law, once a bill dies, it has to go through
the legal opinion of the attorney.
I'm on the platform, please. You had your time. You had your time.
All that you need to do is rush it through.
Serwaa, would you put it to order? Serwaa, would you put it to order?
Go on.
The point I am making is that because you failed to sign the bill into law, it died with your tenure. And according to the law, once the bill died, it has to go through. It has to go through all the processes that has been spelled out in the Constitution.
All right.
It has to go through all the processes that has been spelled out in the Constitution. Once it is done, then it comes to the presidency for assent. And the president has been explicit. He has made his pronouncement that once the bill comes to his table, once Parliament is done with its legislative mandate with the bill, he is going to sign it into law. So where is the bone of contention? Where is the argument and where is the exchanges?
Okay.
And now, last point. Yes. Finally, the NDC government does not delight in the politics of equalization. It does not enrich the public discourse. So even though they supervise the worst form of clampdown on free speech, we don't delight in that. Any serious government that is worth its salt would put priority and protect free speech, because at the end of the day, it goes to inure to the fundamental benefit of the Ghanaian people, the people who give us their mandate. And so at all times, we must make sure that there are dissenting opinions, that we find government policies and ideas so that people can benefit. What we are saying is that in exercising our free speech, we must be responsible and we must do it within the remit of the laws.
Thank you very much. Raymond Edem Tamaku is a member of the government's communications office, and Charles Opoku is a member of the NPP's communications team. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming. Stay with me after the break. There's more.